and it ain't no crack. And it really don't matter if you're white or black. I wanna take you there like the Staples singers. Put something in the tank, and I know that I can bring you. If you can't take the heat, get your ass out the kitchen. We on a mission.
Fans out there in the Tubosphere, welcome to the One Man Sports Rant. Coming to you from the back seat of my Cobra Mustang. I am your host, Will, the alternative ESPN Sports Thrill, celebrating the UW's second Slam Dunk Championship winner in the NBA. Alright, so what are we doing here? I'm fusing together, it's going to be our new baseline show up until the NBA Finals. You know, the other playlists that I like to do, the real world, do-it-yourself, along with the one-man sports rant, about how you're going to get a fixer-upper. Be prepared for a lot more fixer than upper, especially with regard to the interior, even in spaces that nobody else gets to see. All right, so Lee, if you'll just back that out, we'll zoom in on some areas that I'm talking about. As you can see, got the body pretty much tweaked out, took care of the powertrain like any car guy should, up to 470 horsepower with another 135 to go, but thought my body shop guy was the fiberglass guy to handle the job. So at the end of each sporting event, up until the NBA Finals, when this is no longer relevant, all of Terrence Ross, I'm going to be showing you updates through the process of accretion, how you add new fiberglass to already existing fiberglass, tips and tricks on the interior. You're going to be learning as much as if you've ever watched every home improvement episode. Like Tim the Toolman Taylor would say, you want to get down to those nitty-gritty car guy details, you're going to have to do it yourself. No one's ever going to take the time to do this. Like, for example, I'm in the middle of a $2,000 interior restoration job without upholstery. And that's the one thing that was lacking in this car when I bought it. You know, beefed up the engine and the rear end transmission and all that, put on a new top. But the interior was really bad, and that's what I'm in the middle of now. Hey, just a reminder, the One Man Sports Rant is a show. All of the DMCA, Digital Millennium Copyright Act, it has to be done this way. That way, in doing the show, you get more than a 1 and 2 minute bit clip of sports highlights. So save the comments for the actual highlights we're bringing you, because frankly, you're getting way more for a pro bono sports show than you will anywhere else. They're not going to last long on the message board anyway. And as far as the promotional vid goes, give it a chance for a product that actually works. Even if the calendar says July and you're planning that fishing trip up north, but you plan on heading out at 6 in the morning, it'll work for you then too. All right. Roll graphics.
Syracuse Marquette in our nation's capital. Buzz Williams and Jim Boeheim sharing a laugh before the game. President Obama looking on as well. His brackets, in the tournament challenge in the top 10 percentile, so he's hanging in there. Second half, close game. Junior Cadogan, the drive. C.J. Fair, the steal underneath. Then Vander Blue has his shot partially blocked by Fair. Coach, C.J. Fair defensively was everywhere.
C.J. Fair and Syracuse in general, their length bothered Marquette. Their inability to punch in the gap and make a play. Syracuse created all kinds of turnovers and then got out in transition.
Look at this block in the corner as well. All kinds of difficulties for Buzz Williams. Syracuse has forced more turnovers than it's allowed shots made in this tournament. Under 3 minutes to play, James Sutherland. Tough ball foul, three-pointer, gets it to go. He had a game-high 16, yep. Put on the hats. Syracuse is dancing. 55-39. They get the win against their Big East foe, soon to be no longer Big East foe in Marquette. Coach Boeheim afterward talked about his team's late season push, Coach.
These guys have come a long ways from 3 weeks ago today. As somebody reminded me out there, we were here for another game, and it's been great transformation in that period.
You know, throughout the whole process of losing and all the ups and downs just the whole season, that we stayed positive, even losing James. You know, we made it a whole team effort to make sure we were successful, and it started with the Big East tournament. You know, we wanted to win a few games there, you know, and get better as a team, but we knew that we couldn't do it without defense.
Our defense was tremendous in this tournament, has been tremendous in this tournament, and you know, our offense has been just enough, but both teams struggled. But I think it's because of the defenses that both teams struggled. We were as active these 2 games here in Washington as we've ever been, and you know, I just really can't say enough about how good these guys played on the defensive end of the court. They were just tremendous. You know, we gave Marquette 74 points 4 or 5 weeks ago, so just a tremendous defensive effort.
So how great has Syracuse been defensively? They've allowed just 183 points through 4 games, the fewest allowed by a team through the Elite 8 since the field expanded to 64 teams back in 1985. As far as Buzz Williams is concerned, no excuses, though, for Marquette.
The answer is never. We didn't play our game, we didn't make shots, or some other ill-advised excuse when you get beat. They beat us from start to finish. We collectively tried everything we knew to try. We're disappointed that we didn't have an opportunity to continue to play. But when we get beat, and I thought Syracuse was great from start to finish.
In order to beat Syracuse, you got to hit shots, you got to get to the free throw line, you got to stop them in transition. You got to do a whole bunch of stuff to stop them. You know, obviously today they're clicking real well. You know, they did a great job from start to finish.
They got on runs. When they hit shots, it made them even more active in their zone. They got their crowd behind them. It was a tough game. They played really good.
Just going to war every day in practice as a unit, as a family. That's what I'm going to remember every day. Just answering the bell every day, no matter if it's on the court or off the court, in school, whatever. Just being at Marquette working.
Coach, here's a shot chart, and you see all the red X's. Oh, that's bad.
It's not good. I can tell you that much. And the turnovers aren't any good either.
There were a lot of red X's there. The Golden Eagles shot 22%. They missed 41 of 43 shots from the field, including 22 misses out of the 25 attempts they took from three-point range. Just couldn't knock any shots down. Here's Dick Vitale with more on the Orange advancing.
Hey, take a look at Syracuse Marquette. It was all about defense, suffocating defense. The 2-3 zone of Syracuse has been unbelievable through the entire tournament. Ready for this? Teams are shooting 15% against that 2-3 zone. Not only shooting 15%, overall, they're shooting 29%. Marquette was Brick City, USA. Their 2 star scorers, yes, Van der Blue and Mr. Wilson, they were 4 for 24. That's not going to get it done. Bottom line is James Sutherland stepped up big, 16 big points. Michael Carter-Williams, he filled the stat sheet. He was multi-dimensional, steals, rebounds, and he also scored. And the bottom line is Jimmy Boeheim's club has been brilliant. They have absolutely stymied teams with their fantastic defense, and that was the difference again against Marquette. Now Jimmy B takes Syracuse to the Final Four, and remember this, Jimmy B is 3-0 in semifinal National Final Four games.
Coach's defense was ridiculous. I mean, my question to you would be, why doesn't every coach in America just employ the 2-3 zone all the time if they can have this kind of success? This was ridiculous.
Well, they have this type of success because of the type of players they have, the length of their players. They've got big, strong, long physical guards. You look at the top of that zone. You've got Brandon Trish, 6'4", probably about a 6'10" reach. Then you've got Michael Carter-Williams, 6'7", almost a 7-foot reach. You've got C.J. Fair on one wing, his ability to close out. Van der Blue, the one catch-and-shoot guy on Marquette, they did a great job of cheating to him. The length of this Syracuse zone makes it so special. And you asked me a question on the break about, how long did it take for them to kind of buy it in? Because they went through that stretch where they lost 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
I said they probably went and bought Billis's book, Toughness. They read it, and all of a sudden, they got tougher. But when you look at this Syracuse basketball team, in general. Their defense, they were active and alert. They arrived on
the OMSRs pulling for it now.
On ball reversal, when guys were shot ready.
No secret, we're Carmelo.
Then when you
big time. Way back to 1986 in the Indiana game.
Punch the ball in the paint.
We've been Syracuse for a long time.
On the pass.
We bleed orange around here.
They did a great job of containing the
now that we see who they're going to be playing against.
And then when the ball did go to the high post in the first half, Marquette had a little bit of a run. The adjustment Jim Boeheim made in the second half, he did a terrific job. And then, to me, the X factor for Syracuse is by Musakita. The middle of that zone, he can play the high post, and then when the ball gets to the baseline, he's quick enough to recover down. The active and alert defense of Syracuse creates great offense. And when James Sutherland's making shots, and Michael Carter-Williams is being a facilitator first. Michael Carter-Williams, when they were struggling, he was thinking score first, play make second. Right now, we know what he's thinking. Let's get everyone involved. Let's share the sugar. Let's be a facilitator. Now
these guys use the Achilles inside beautifully. That's because they truly kept people active. Well, among those watching the game, the president of the United States, Barack Obama.
All right.
He sitting upstairs, Dr. Mark Emmert to the left. NCAA president, I think that's Greg Robinson, and Reggie Love with the president. Greg Robinson is brother-in-law, the head coach at Oregon State, and Reggie Love, longtime aide.
Didn't you do the game with Clark where the
president came down?
He could have stolen all our jobs as analysts.
He did a little play-by-play. He did a throw to commercial.
Even wearing Under Armour, top. Right on.
Is the acknowledgement that the president is here.
With tons of Secret Service in and around. Hey, he should get to take a day off. It's in Washington, D.C.
Here's Trish. That was strong going to the goal. Yes. He was finishing.
Sorry, going freehand here.
Area effectively. The catch and turn is the key, I think.
Williams again. Yeah.
He's so tall, active, understands the game.
Marquette turnovers. Trish.
Up. Boosh.
Now let's take another look at this zone.
The guys spent endless hours trying to figure out how to make entry passes, where to cut. The hands are active. So many of the coaches, they just position themselves when you think it's a passing lane, and the reaction and length negates it.
Well, Jimmy Boeheim was asked about the last time Syracuse played a man-to-man defense. It was in November of 2009, and they lost to Lamoni. And he said, that's it. No more man-to-man. I'm going zone.
He's amazing.
We're not talking no 30-second clip either, or a $1:14, or even a $1:59. The beauty of doing a show is you end up with a significantly, still slight and brief, longer highlight reel than all those other ones that I just mentioned that are all over YouTube. That's not the goal of this show here. Now, how is that possible? It's a little thing called the DMCA, which we adhere to strictly around here. The Digital Copyright Millennium Act. As the key tenets were hashed out as it pertains to YouTube more than ever. Really came about because of the Napsters of the world. Through WIPO, World Intellectual Property Organization. And these are the fair use standard, derivatives, minimal use, no money exchange in hands, because the OMSR is a pro bono production. So I understand if a show's not your cup of tea. You can always fast forward on average 8 minutes, you know, thereabouts. We try to do at least 6 minutes worth of highlights. There. So you can go, zip. Do I have anybody's attention at this point? 1:43. Plus the intro, so that's my 2 minutes. I guess I'm up. I may not be talking to anybody. I'm not sure. I'm not dissing you guys watching now. I'm talking about how it was in the past. Alright, so you heard from Motley Crue. It's going to be our lead into for a while, and are introduced by our Pi Kappa Alpha House Sweethearts, U of U chapter, Alpha Tau, giving you props. So, yeah, all of these things being said, one more very important thing. This show is copyrighted to the OMSR with brief video highlights courtesy to CBS, NBC, ABC, ESPN, Pac-12 networks, and or any of their affiliates. The OMSR does not own these video highlights, but does own all the other original content and the overall concept herein, thereof, therefore, most rights reserved. Now, one more note, going to change it up a little bit. All images not of OMSR provenance were obtained through the public